Good afternoon and welcome back to Sports with Eaves. We have a lot of sports to get to today. We've got 4 super segments I think that you will enjoy. It's college football season. We've got the University of Louisville, who is now 1-2, 2 consecutive losses to 2 ACC opponents. We've got the University of Kentucky, which is 0-1. The only loss came to Auburn University at Jordan Fair Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. We'll be talking about. Thirdly, we've got a little college round ball. Coach Mack thinks things are unfair for the University of Kentucky Wildcats to come to the Yum Center with maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people in the Yum Center. We're going to talk about that, and I've got a little editorial that we need to express to Coach Mack. Fourthly, everyone understands and knows the Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson, and the tweet that he put out that sent the entire Commonwealth, and I did say Commonwealth of Kentucky, into a tizzy because he wants professional WNBA players and NBA players to tell high school players to boycott the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville. I understand his stance. I've agreed with Jesse Jackson probably on 90% of the things that he has done, but I've got an interesting editorial that we'll discuss at the end of the show today. So buckle up, get ready, it's time to rumble.
At number 21, Pittsburgh at home welcomes number 24, Louisville to town.
College football, as exciting as it is, sometimes when you're watching your favorite team, the University of Louisville, having a hard time on the road at Heinz Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, against the University of Pittsburgh, it's frustrating. One thing that we understand about Coach Satterfield teams is that they're very explosive offensively. He's got great tools. Tutu Atwell, Javarian Hawkins, Malik Cunningham are 3 tremendous offensive talents. We understand the limitations that University of Louisville has with the defensive side of the ball, but vastly improved from last week's Miami game. When you sit there and say you only gave up 23 points to Pittsburgh, you would expect the University of Louisville to win. Hard-fought game. Louisville comes out on the back end, 23-20. One of the issues is that Pittsburgh's defensive ends lived in Malik Cunningham's right and left pocket. There was no scrambling. When he ran right, defensive end. When he ran left, defensive end. They bottled him in. They always had him uncomfortable in the pocket, and they made it very difficult for him to execute the University of Louisville offense. When Malik Cunningham goes 9 for 21 for 107 yards, you know the University of Louisville's going to have a very hard time winning. We're going to show you a few highlights. University of Louisville loses to Pittsburgh 23-20. Malik Cunningham, 9 for 21, the worst passing percentage he's had as a starter, for 107 yards, which is also a low. 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions.
As you see him visit with his offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple, and here is Javarian Hawkins breaking free and trying to
rushing. Javon Hawkins, 13 carries for 78 yards. 1 play went for 75.
Long and Cunningham to throw. Back across the middle, Atwell the catch in traffic.
Peterson, 1 carry for 31 yards. And Malik Cunningham, for the second game in a row, had as many carries as the leading rusher, 13 carries for 3 yards.
And they're still going to fake it. Around the edge they go. First down and more for Louisville.
Tutu Atwell, as explosive as he is, had 4 receptions for 37 yards. Longest reception was 21 yards. Smith, Floyd, and Kirkpatrick had 1 reception apiece. Louisville has a bye week. Hopefully they will bounce back in the upcoming week.
Did you know that the word alma mater comes from the Latin meaning nurturing mother? One of our primary objectives at Simmons College of Kentucky is to nurture late bloomers. So it doesn't matter if you struggle through high school just to graduate, or even if you earn your GED. We don't look at a student's past, we look at their potential. Simmons College of Kentucky, creating the next generation of thinkers.
Welcome back to Sports with Eaves. Change of location, but not change of sport. College football, University of Kentucky, first road game, Jordan Ferris Stadium, Auburn, Alabama. 8th ranked team in the country, University of Kentucky, the 23rd ranked team in the country. The opening weekend for the Southeastern Conference, big boy football. Kentucky, admirable job, had a lot of holes to fill. Len Belton had left. Terry Touchdown Wilson was back, recovering from season-ending knee injury last season. University of Kentucky's offensive line is its strength, the big blue wall. Everyone wanted to see the dominance that they could create with the offensive line. I was expecting to see 200 plus yards rushing so that Terry would not have to carry the University of football team with his passing. That was not the issue. There were a lot of bad calls, both ways. Everyone that was watching the game knows that Cavassier Smoke scored a touchdown. Everyone understands that the following play, when Terry Wilson throws a pick six, 99 yards, that was not targeting by the University of Auburn's football player, which brought back that touchdown. The officials were wet behind the ears also. They had to get in the groove. Both teams were inconsistent early, but showed a lot of promise. Auburn is big and strong, very physical, with a lot of tools. Quarterback Nix is going to do an admirable job. Sophomore, started as a freshman, and is going to be a very good quarterback in the SEC before he's done. University of Kentucky's defense stood up. Other than the turnovers and having to try to protect the end zone in short yardage opportunities, the University of Kentucky football team did an admirable job defensively to lose 29-13. This upcoming week, I think, is a huge week. Kentucky has 10 Southeastern Conference football games. 10. That's like Jerry Eaves at Ballard High School playing Darrell Griffith's Male High Bulldogs every game in a basketball season. There's not a weekend they can take off. They've got the Ole Miss coming in to Kroger Stadium this Saturday. Also, 11,000 fans will be there cheering for the Wildcats. Let's wish them the very best to see if Kentucky can bounce back from the Auburn loss and be in 1-1 after Saturday's game. Some highlights from the Kentucky-Auburn game. Kentucky 13, Auburn 29. Terry Wilson 24 for 37 for 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had to knock the rust off, but those are good stats coming back against a quality opponent. Cavassier Smoke, 7 carries for 62 yards, the longest a 35-yard carry. Armon Rose, 10 carries for 31 yards. And Mr. Rodriguez, 9 carries for 13 yards. Receiving core, Ali is going to be a fine receiver for the University of Kentucky. 9 receptions for 98 yards, longest reception 33. Daly 2 for 42. Rose 4 for 37. And Harris had 4 receptions for 25. Better luck this week coming against Ole Miss, playing at home at Kroger Stadium. It's round ball season. That's a favorite to my heart. University of Louisville's head coach, Chris Mack, threw out an interesting proposition. He would like for University of Kentucky to postpone the 2020 game at the Yum Center and play it in 2021. Reasons why, I will read you a direct quote, are that he doesn't think it's fair for Kentucky to have to come to the Yum Center and play in front of 2,000 or 3,000 fans. When the following year, of course, we'll have a vaccine by then, University of Louisville will have to go back to Rape Arena, as they call it, and play against the Kentucky Wildcats. Well, first thing, I just want to make sure that everybody understands. Coach Calipari is 2-0 against Coach Mack. Coach Calipari was 9-2 against Hall of Fame Coach Rick Pitino. I don't think Coach Calipari worries where he plays Louisville. I just think that Chris Mack should get back to the business at hand. Defeat the Kentucky Wildcats. Don't worry about the stands and the fans. Don't turn into Coach Pitino talking about there's too many blue shirts in the Yum Center. Just win the game. That is the key. I'm going to read a direct quote from Coach Mack to inform you so that you'll have an opportunity to make your own opinion of the statement. Will Louisville and Kentucky play college basketball this year, 2020? Coach Mack, I don't know, because again, we're dealing with limited calendar, Mack says, For instance, the University of Cincinnati, we're supposed to play second game of the season against those guys at their place. Talking to Coach John Brom, head coach at the University of Cincinnati, how fair is that for us to play their home game in front of literally no fans and then have them return the game? Talking about returning the following year to the Yum Center with 20,000 people there. And I think the same thing holds true for the University of Louisville, Kentucky game. Where's the equity of Kentucky coming here in front of no fans and then having to go back to Rupp Arena, I meant Rupp Arena, to play in front of 21,000 fans? I understand the Louisville-Cincinnati rivalry. I played in it, I've been a part of it, and it's a great rivalry. But it's nothing like the University of Kentucky versus the University of Louisville. You have two programs that have numerous championships in their closet, numerous. They've got tons of NBA players on both sides of the spectrum. The best fan base in the country is right here at the University of Louisville in the Yum Center and up the road in Lexington at Rupp Arena. The only thing that you need to be concerned with is defeating the University of Kentucky. That's what the fans want. That's what the players want. That's what the administration at the University of Louisville wants. And that's what you should want. We all understand the sixth man, but the sixth man hasn't had much to do with this rivalry when it's 11-2. So as a former Louisville player, only thing that we need you to do is concentrate your team in defeating the University of Kentucky. I don't care if there's nobody in the gym. I just want to tell my Kentucky friends, we knocked you off.
A recent article in Newsweek cited that black colleges produce 70% of all black dentists and doctors, 50% of black engineers and public school teachers, and while HBCUs only account for 3% of the nation's colleges, they account for about 20% of the degrees awarded to African Americans. Did you know that 40% of the African American members of Congress, 50% of African American lawyers, and 80% of African American judges all graduated from an HBCU? Simmons College of Kentucky is just one of America's historically black colleges and universities that can help you pursue and realize your dreams. Simmons College of Kentucky, creating the next generation of thinkers.
Welcome back, Sports with Eaves. Last segment, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson. Throughout his career, I probably agree with Reverend Jackson 90% of the time. I don't agree with anybody all the time. My dad taught me that a long time ago. But I would say 90% of the time. But this is one time I'm gonna read a tweet from you that Reverend Jackson has it wrong. He's got it twisted. And I'm gonna explain it to you all why. But first, I want you all to hear the direct tweet from Reverend Jesse Jackson making a statement to WNBA players, NBA players to influence high school kids not to come to the University of Kentucky nor the University of Louisville to play college sports. The direct quote from Reverend Jesse Jackson: the players in the WNBA, the NFL, and the NBA must discourage high-profile athletes, basketball and football players, from going to the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville. We must make economic life in Kentucky inconvenient. This tactic has always worked for oppressed people. Direct quote. Reverend, let me explain something to you. And it's the problem that we're in America right now. We're always wanting to use a group to influence another group. When you're telling 16, 17, 18-year-old people that are very impressionable to do a certain thing because of a politically driven idea. I understand what's going on with Breonna Taylor, tragedy. I understand the movement that people are backing with the Black Lives Matters. I understand that my life has mattered 61 years. It didn't take Black Lives Matter nor 3 females to tell me what it matters and what it means. I've had the NAACP around for a long time, and you understand that yourself. I've had the Urban League around for a long time. You understand that yourself. I've had the Black Panthers movement around a long time, and you understand that yourself. You're a very educated man. But what should have been said is for you to tell NBA players to use their influence, not their mouths, but their money. America's caught in a divide. It's always easy to say black and white. We understand Reverend Cosby, my pastor, this weekend said it the best. Black lives matter and all lives matter, but you have to be more direct than that. What this is about is opportunity. The opportunity to feed your family, the opportunity to have same pay, the opportunity to have the same opportunities for the same jobs. To make a statement for adults that are being paid millions of dollars to influence young kids. The University of Louisville was very good for me. Darrell Griffith, Derek Smith, Scooter McCray. It was very good. University of Kentucky has been very good for Jack Givens, Dan Issel, James Lee, Dirk Minifield, Sam Bowie, Cal Macy. To say to use your influence to influence them is a misdirection. What needs to happen is that the people at the top, that's black and white, have to start to use their influence economically, like you said, to help the young college athletes. Jesse, I would agree with you 100%. If you'd have told the kids throughout college football and basketball to boycott because they create billions of dollars for universities in the NCAA and they're not compensated fairly, I would agree with you totally. But for you to tell professional players that are making billions of dollars, LeBron James makes $40 million a year. He deserves every penny. To tell a young man that is trying to do what LeBron has done, not to take that step, is unfair and too political. Keep the political arena where it deserves in politics, not in sports. That's the problem. Politics is now taken over everything. Let's put it back in the box where it belongs to be, politically. Washington, D.C., the county courthouse, the state government in Frankfurt, all throughout this country. That's where we need to put this, not on the back of 17 and 18-year-old college students, want to be college students. Thank you for another great show. Stay tuned. God willing, we'll be back for our 7th episode of Sports with Eaves. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.